Hello, and welcome back to another episode of Reeltv. On our show, we report and discuss the latest movie news as well as bring you the scoop from behind the scenes in Hollywood. I'm your host, Connor Smith.
And I'm also your host, Eric Dowling. Today we'll be discussing Stephen King movies. Carrie's coming out next week, and a lot of hubbub. A lot of people are kind of upset that they're remaking it, but I don't know. It's finally coming back at it with a bigger budget. Things are going to look cooler.
CGI blood and everything. I think my one thing is that if a movie is great, like the original Carrie, Brian De Palma directed it, it's a classic. Like it's a horror classic, and it sort of is one of those staple movies like, you have the original Nightmare on Elm Street, Psycho. Carrie is one of those, The Exorcist. It is one of those classic horror movies. So I'm kind of thinking, like, if the original Carrie is so great, like, what are they going to add to this one that it's able to deviate itself from the original?
Chloe Grace Moretz is a fantastic actress. I think
I love her too.
She might have worked with some of the best people in Hollywood ever by age 16. So I'm very jealous of her.
I kind of have a crush on her. Like in interviews, she's like the smartest person ever.
Yeah, and like it's so weird because like we've like Dakota Fanning, like Lindsay Lohan, like all of these people, we've seen them grow up on camera, and it's just kind of weird to see her taking a more adult role than she has before. Because like Hit Girl is this more or less 13 to 14-year-old girl.
This is her first like high schooler. Like she's an adult now. I'm pretty sure she's in high school in Kick-Ass too.
Yeah, that's true.
But like I don't know really how. My one problem with her as Carrie is that she seems too normal to me. Like Carrie is beautiful. Like in the original, Sissy Spacek, she's gorgeous. But she's weird as hell. Like, you know what I mean? You're supposed to sympathize with her, but you're not really supposed to like relate to her really. Like you're supposed to be like really sympathetic toward her, but like, and obviously feel bad when she gets pig's blood dumped on her, but like, I feel like Chloe Grace Moretz is just so normal.
I don't know, but I feel like she could be a good enough actress because she was in the American remake of Let Me In.
And that was great.
And I haven't seen that, but I've seen a good portion of the foreign one.
I Let the Right One In. That's great too.
And she probably has enough. That's probably why they casted her, to be honest with you.
Yeah.
Like just being that creepy. I think was she the friend of the vampire or like the vampire? I don't. Or whatever.
She was the vampire.
Okay, yeah. I think that's a creepy enough role that they probably casted her as Carrie.
It's a good one. But let's talk about like
other
Stephen, like because Stephen King is just sort of the pinnacle of
and
horror almost.
He has definitely a central theme of like three major issues. There has to be a mention of New England somewhere. If you go back and rewatch it, almost everything has a mention to New England. 2, there's always some sort of feud with the cops. And 3,
that's so true.
There's almost always a religious person that is just blown out of proportion and they are meant to look like one of the worst people in the world. Like, for example, in the movie The Mist, which might be one of my favorite Stephen King movie adaptations, the one woman, the religious zealot woman in the grocery store, you hate her. I don't think I've ever despised a woman so much in a movie than I did her. Because just everything that she wanted to do was like, no, you can't do this. And it was just
not really, a woman, but I don't know if anyone can top Jar Jar Binks. Just putting that out there.
True.
No, but I'd say if I had to rank my top 3 favorite Stephen King horrors, obviously Shawshank and Green Mile are great.
And Stand By Me.
And Stand By Me. But for horror, it would go, number 1 would be Misery, because nothing beats getting hit in the legs with a sledgehammer by Kathy Bates, who's just crazy and awesome. 2 would be Carrie. I rewatched the original last week in preparation for the remake, and it still holds up tremendously. And 3rd would be The Shining, because I just think The Shining is so psychological, and I love Jack Nicholson.
And we are talking about the Kubrick Shining, not the Stephen King Shining.
I'm talking about, the Jack Nicholson Kubrick Shining. Oh, yeah, because he made a remake of it. I forgot that for a second.
Yeah.
It was like a mini-series, right?
Yeah, it was not very well received. Stephen King he still hates Kubrick, even though Kubrick's dead, but like he really regrets letting him do that. But I would say mine is The Shining, The Mist, and I don't think I've seen many others, but The Shining and The Mist were both just fantastically done. in The Shining, I really liked how he didn't stay true to the book, because I believe the book is like 800 or so pages. It's very long, very lengthy, and to condense that into a at least 2-hour movie is a huge undertaking, and I think Kubricked it. I can't.
I love it. I think it's great. And you know what I love about Stephen King is that even his like you have his great classics, like movie adaptions, and then you have the ones that are just dumb as heck, but they're so fun. Like Cujo. Like it's not like art, like it's not great, but it's like hilarious. Like the woman's trapped in the car and the dog's like, and it's funny. And I love Christine, the killer car. The Dead Zone, Christopher Walken as the main guy, hilarious. I'm trying to think of his other ones.
It was also like
it is just so dumb, but it's so creepy. Like
well, I hate clowns, so I can't even fathom trying to watch it. So I just let it go, and I'm just like, it exists.
They float. They all float. That was his line, where right before he kills a little kid and drags him into the sewer.
Yeah, that's probably why I haven't seen it. But like, also, Stephen King's written some very, very odd things. Like, he had a lot of like issues with alcoholism and stuff, and he went crazy, more for lack of a better term, for a good stretch of time, and he wrote a book literally about a killer washing machine. Why? Because he's Stephen King, and that's basically
what he does.
That's what he does. Yeah.
Do you want to hear something cool I found out about him the other day? And I don't have a source, so if this is wrong, please forgive me. But I heard that he's sort of going blind. He's like losing his sight, and his number one fear is like darkness.
Huh.
So like, isn't that kind of weird that the horror author is like? But so we've talked about his horrors. Obviously, just Misery and Carrie and The Shining, and
but also
Pet Sematary too.
And also
I love Pet
Lot.
Sematary.
Salem's Lot is really good, really creepy. I remember my dad, because my dad's a huge Stephen King fan, and he told one of my friends about Salem's Lot, a scene from it. And my friend literally couldn't sleep for like 2 days. He was terrified. He like had to like sleep in his parents' room and everything, and like he had to triple lock the windows and stuff.
I was scared when I saw it for the first time. I was in like middle school, like 6th grade or something, and the image of him as the moon, like when the guy's in the prison and he looks up and the clown, I mean Pennywise is like the moon. Yeah. That's creepy. Like I still am like thinking about.
But like also Stephen King's still writing, like releasing books at least once a year, and he just released a sequel to The Shining, which is it's called Dr. Sleep, and it's like Danny is like a middle-aged man, or at least significantly older, and there's this group of like outlaw bandits that are coming and killing the kids with The Shining, and I probably won't read it, but it just sounds really intriguing to me.
And his dramas.
Yeah, his dramas.
Oh my! Obviously, Shawshank Redemption is one of the greatest movies of all time. I mean, the performances are Tim Robbins and Morgan Freeman. And I still choke up about the old man who worked at the grocery store and then he killed himself. What was his name? Red is Morgan Freeman's character. I forget his name. Right, but it's just
heart-wrenching.
And I like Green Mile, obviously. When he's afraid of the dark. Oh my God, Tom Hanks.
And
that one's
now I think even with the passing of Michael Clark Duncan, like the Green Mile just kind of takes that next.
I remember the first time I watched that, I was like so moved by it. I was so, and Stand By Me. I mean, who doesn't like seeing getting leeches on your junk?
Yeah, River Phoenix.
So many like stars were in that
Keith
that grew
Sutherland
up.
And I mean, River Phoenix, I guess, never really grew up.
Moral of the story, Stephen King's pretty awesome.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, we're going to take a quick break, but stay tuned. And when we come back, we'll fill you in on all the latest theatrical releases as well. Actually, we're just doing theatrical releases. So thanks for watching, and we'll see you after the break.
Back to Reeltv. Next Friday, Carrie and Escape Plan are being released in theaters. The reimagining of the classic horror tale follows Carrie White, played by the wonderful Chloe Grace Moretz, a shy girl outcast by her peers and sheltered by her deeply religious mother, played by Julianne Moore, who unleashes telekinetic terror on her small town after being pushed too far at her senior prom. Based on the best-selling novel by Stephen King, Carrie is directed by Kimberly Pierce, with a screenplay by Lawrence D. Cohen and Roberto Aguirre Sacasa.
I can't wait to see that.
Yeah, me too.
All right, next. Arnold and Stallone in a movie together? That's a dream come true. In Escape Plan by Ryan Breslin, played by Sylvester Stallone, is the world's foremost authority on structural security. After analyzing every high-security prison and learning a vast array of survival skills so he can design escape-proof prisons, his skills are put to the test. He's framed and incarcerated in a master prison he designed himself. He needs to escape and find the person who put him behind bars.
Also in theaters is Bill Condon's The Fifth Escape, or The Fifth Estate. The film is a dramatic thriller based on real events that reveals the quest to expose the deceptions and corruptions of power that turned an internet upstart into the 21st century's most fiercely debated organization. Sherlock's Benedict Cumberbatch stars.
Well, that seems interesting. So many movies are coming out. In a limited release is the highly anticipated 12 Years a Slave, based on an incredible true story of one man's fight for survival and freedom. In the pre-Civil War United States, Solomon Northup, Chiwetel Ejiofor, I think that's how you pronounce that, a free black man from upstate New York is abducted and sold into slavery. Facing cruelty personified by a malevolent slave owner who is portrayed by Michael Fassbender, as well as unexpected kindnesses, Solomon struggles not only to stay alive, but to retain his dignity. In the 12th year of his unforgettable odyssey, Solomon's chance meeting with a Canadian abolitionist, Brad Pitt, will forever alter his life. The film is directed by Stephen McQueen, the mastermind behind the amazing films Shame and Hunger, both of which star Michael Fassbender.
I heard that's a very good one, so
Yep.
that's something I think we'll have to watch out for during the Oscar season.
Yeah, definitely.
Sons of Anarchy starred Charlie Hunnam. Hunnam.
Think
Same
that's it.
thing. Sorry, Charlie. Will no longer play Christian Grey in the film version of 50 Shades of Grey. According to a statement from the studios behind the film, the filmmakers of 50 Shades of Grey and Charlie Hunnam have agreed to find another male lead given Hunnam's immersive TV schedule, which is not allowing him time to adequately prepare for the role of Christian Grey. The season 6 finale of FX's Sons of Anarchy began shooting on October 11th, one day before Universal Pictures and Focus Features made the announcement. 50 Shades of Grey is due to hit theaters August 1st, 2014. 50 Shades of Grey author E.L. James responded briefly on Twitter, "I wish Charlie all the best, X," she wrote. It's unclear whether her tweet 17 minutes before that one was related. Okay, girls and boys, hold on to your hats. It's about to get serious.
Oh dear.
I'm available, just saying.
Well, Peter Dinklage is ready to get R-rated. Peter Dinklage on a mysterious X-Men role. He's not exactly the villain. Like the Game of Thrones star has signed on to play the lead in an untitled comedy for Paramount, EW confirmed. According to The Hollywood Reporter, the story is about a man who goes around telling people he's a leprechaun.
Story of my life.
Reports state that the goal is to craft a movie that's similar in tone to 2003's Bad Santa, which would place it squarely in R-rated territory. Andrew Dodge, who penned the Jason Bateman-directed comedy Bad Words, has been hired to write the script. There's still no director attached or a reported timeline for the project. I wish Mr. Dinklage all the best.
Me too. Sounds interesting, so we'll see. The screenwriters behind the last 4 Saw films, I saw them, get it? Okay. And Piranha 3DD for good measure, will next adapt a family-friendly live-action film for Disney. Marcus Dunstan and Patrick Melton have been tapped to pen the treatment for The Stuff of Legend, adapted from the graphic novel written by Mike Racht and Brian Smith, and illustrated by Charles Paul Wilson III. Peter Candeland, so many names, Candeland, will direct the World War II era story that centers on a group of toys who set out to rescue their owner from the clutches of the boogeyman who dwells in the dark realm.
So basically it's Toy Story in World War II. All right. So many activities. That's what we'd like to think with Will Ferrell and John C. Reilly were saying while in negotiations to reteam for a new comedy. And now those activities are official. 5 years after the actors linked Funny Bones for Step Brothers, the actors have signed on for Devil's Night, a movie about 2 childhood best friends, Leonard and Gabe, who bonded over the love for October 30th, when pre-Halloween mischief runs rampant. Naturally, Devil's Night tore Leonard and Gabe apart. 15 years later, their neighborhood's love for the annual night of vandalism has gotten out of control, and the duo must reunite to protect it from total wreckage. The news of the upcoming movie comes from The Wrap, which reports that Andrew Mogul and Gerard Paul from Yes Man are writing the script. Farrell and Adam McKay's Gary Sanchez Productions, the studio responsible for Step Brothers and Funny or Die Presents, and the forthcoming Anchorman sequel, will produce the project.
I have no idea how that's going to turn
Yeah.
out. It's going to be funny, though. Well, we're going to take a quick break, but stay tuned, and when we come back, we'll fill you in on some Hollywood buzz.
Welcome back to Reeltv. I'm Connor, and
I'm Rachel.
Yeah, we're going to talk about Nashville, a show that we both like.
Amazing show.
If you guys do watch it, or if you don't, it's on ABC on Wednesdays at 10.
Yep.
At 10 o'clock. So tune in. This is a spoiler alert. We're going to be talking about sort of the first 3 episodes of the season, what's happened so far, what we think we want to happen.
Yeah.
So, do you want to start and maybe talk about what sort of happened in the past episode?
Yeah, definitely. No, I follow the show completely, and I think that the plot is very well recently, like, it's done very well, like, between Juliet and Raina, like,
that was great. I love their rivalry.
Yeah, they have a really, really intense rivalry, but now it's kind of like Raina and Scarlett are working together, so it's more of a Raina and Scarlett relationship, but they're not fighting. It's more just like they're working together, and then Raina's against Juliet, but then Juliet also kind of
She has a new rival.
Yeah.
And her name is Layla Grant.
Right, like the new it girl.
The new Raina, no, the new Juliet.
Yeah, she is
almost.
the new Juliet. She sang Juliet's song actually.
At the award thing or whatever that was.
Yeah, I don't remember what that
Yeah,
was.
and what else?
Yeah.
Ted and Raina are officially divorced.
Yeah, that like it became official. I think it was just the episode that just aired when they signed the papers.
And Ted, sort of the woman that he had an affair with,
Peggy
Peggy
Cantor, I think.
Peggy, yeah, she's pregnant.
Right.
So there's some drama there. This is such a soap opera.
It is like a soap, but it's a good soap opera. It's a good soap opera.
And then Gunnar is living with Will, not like together.
No, but they're living like in the same
they're roommates.
place, yeah.
But Will is sort of still in the closet.
Yeah,
he's like he wants to be the
not-
cool country star that
Right.
all the women want.
Yeah.
And Gunnar wrote a song that Will
Right.
sang, so he was kind of ticked about that.
Yeah, well, I don't blame him. I like Gunnar. I think he's a great
like Gunnar.
character.
The drama.
I liked him with Scarlett, but
Yeah, I thought
in the beginning.
I did too.
Like I'm kind of mad that they're not together, but like when I forget what it was, they were going to something together, and like someone brought Scarlett and like Gunnar, like someone brought Gunnar, and like they were there or something.
Oh, I remember that.
Yeah.
I think it sort of became like, I honestly did not consider it a really like, it was dramatic, but I wouldn't really consider it like a soap opera last year until, as your father would say, it didn't jump the shark, but it became full out soap opera when Raina was in the car accident.
I completely agree.
That was like full blown.
It couldn't have gotten like.
Yeah, and obviously Raina, obviously they wouldn't kill her off. She lost her
Right.
voice.
They couldn't
She
do that.
is hesitant to write a
I
new
feel-
album or re-record the song
because of her voice.
her voice is
I feel
apparently
like the way
shot.
they like brought that up was kind of strange because like she went through the whole episode kind of and then was like, oh yeah, I lost my voice. Like then why are you speaking like about doing like a whole new album?
Yeah.
But like I mean at the same time like for her to lose her voice is like a huge thing for her. So I mean to deal with that is probably
Yeah, my
lot,
favorite thing
like-
about the show is when they sing though, because I think the people that I love that it's all original music.
yes.
And I love whenever like they play new songs on there. And this
Yeah.
episode had 3 new songs. We heard
forgot- I
Juliet's
don't
new
remember.
song.
right.
We heard Will's new song.
and then
The
what was-
song that Gunnar wrote.
Oh right, the one Gunnar
And
wrote and
then
Will sang.
what was the other one? I remember there being 3. Did Layla Grant sing one?
Possibly.
Who else did? I don't know.
I don't remember, but there was definitely a lot. There were 3 songs in the last one.
Yeah, I remember there were 3, but
Yeah.
it was definitely an interesting episode.
Yeah, I like when the daughters sing.
Oh yeah, tell us about what happened with the daughters
Yes,
the other
well,
day.
I have a funny story about that. Lennon and Maisie Stella, that's like who plays them. But they like live tweet sometimes during the show, and I tweeted them because they just got a new puppy. I asked them if their
Wait,
puppy.
they're actually sisters.
Yes, they're sisters in real life, and their parents are singers. They're
Really?
Stellas.
I didn't know that they
Yes.
were actually
Mhm,
brother
they're
and sister.
sisters. Yeah, they're sisters in real life. Maisie's the younger one, Lennon's older.
That's so
but,
interesting.
Yeah,
Didn't
yeah,
know
and they got a new dog on the last, I forgot like what it was, the last Wednesday that Nashville aired. That was the day they got the dog, and I asked them. I tweeted them. I'm like, is your dog watching? Their dog's name's Howie. I'm like, is your dog Howie watching the show? And they tweeted me back yes with 2 hearts, and I like flipped out.
Do they watch it?
Yeah, they watch it, and they also like they live tweet during it.
That's
like,
so cool.
I've tweeted them each time, but like this one they responded, and I was really happy.
That's so
It was about
cool.
their dog, so I was like, okay.
I think it's so interesting that Twitter is like the new way that they get ratings almost because
Yeah.
Scandal is like the #1 most talked about show through Twitter.
Through Twitter.
But they're actually like making it a huge deal now, Twitter.
Yeah.
Through like whatever shows are buzzed about.
Right.
They're making it's like a huge, almost as important as ratings now.
Right, and I think that if the actors live tweet, that's kind of what does it.
Because people will send in questions.
Right, like if I'll be like, oh, I'm not going to watch this show today, and then I decide to because I'm like, oh, well, if they're tweeting, maybe if I watch it and I tweet, there's a chance they could tweet me back.
On the next episode, I remember that the who runs away, the older Raina's oldest daughter.
Right.
She runs away.
Right.
That's the only thing I really remember from the promo, but it was so like she ran away,
Yeah.
no. But obviously like
She's a lot to deal with.
she'll be upset about something, and then that'll be the episode in a nutshell.
Yeah.
It'll probably be one of the lamer ones, but
Yeah.
it's a good season so far.
Yeah, I think it's been great. I think it's a very well done, well made show.
Yeah, and it was picked up for a whole 22 episode season, so
I'm happy about
we still
that.
have another 19 episodes. I'm not a math person.
Yeah, I don't
19
remember how
episodes
many,
of
probably.
beautiful country music, and I don't even like country, but I love that show.
I love country.
And Connie Britton and
Hayden Penn.
Panettiere just being awesome.
Yeah, they're
So,
awesome.
Thanks
Awesome
for
show.
watching, and when we come back, we have Brian, who's going to be talking about new fall shows as well. So thanks for watching.
Thanks.
Welcome back to Reeltv. Right now, here we have Brian. He's going to discuss some of the new fall releases that have been ongoing. He's going to discuss what's been going on with these shows.
Yep, and you're going to be discussing Eastbound and Down and Boardwalk Empire.
Correct.
But first, let's talk about some of the shows that have come back this season. I watched Revenge. It just came back for a third season. It's one of the only shows I still like follow religiously. It's just so well crafted. It takes place in the Hamptons, like with all the elite, like the 1%, and it goes through all the like dirty deals and stuff like that. And it's just like it's such a well-made series. It's beautifully like made like with the cameras and whatnot. But I just love this series so much. The characters are interesting. I especially love the protagonist, Emily Thorne. She's out for revenge, and literally she does anything to get revenge. She's amazing at that. Have you seen this show?
I actually have not. I know there's lots of twists and turns.
Oh, yes.
Like lots of mystery going on, suspense.
Yep.
I've heard lots of things, good things.
Yep. Another show that just came out from ABC was Once Upon a Time. It just came back for its third season, and I'm a little skeptical about this
Fairy
season.
tale type of thing.
Yep, they adapted like all the classic fairy tales we know, made like their own little parallel universe, but they came here for some reason. But in this season, they traveled to Wonderland. No, not Wonderland. That's the spin-off. But that actually they actually made the spin-off this season.
Okay.
It just started, but they're going to Neverland this time. And this was made by the people who made Lost. So there have always been like references to Lost, but now they're all of a sudden back on an island. I think they're actually going to be playing a lot with that. And they made Peter Pan the villain of this.
Oh, well,
this
that's
season.
change up, no Captain
Yeah, he's like
Hook.
this little demonic British kid.
Okay.
Yeah, but honestly, I'm just a little skeptical. It's like the season finale last year didn't go too well. Yeah. But we'll see.
See where it takes us, right?
Yep, I'll still be watching it.
Okay.
So what about you?
Well, some shows that I've been keeping up with, Eastbound and Down, starring Danny McBride. He's absolutely hilarious. Everybody's seen him. He's in Pineapple Express. In This Is the End, he like stole the show.
Oh, really?
But really, he's just settled down with his family. His wife April. He's got 2 kids, and now all of a sudden he's got a taste of fame, and now he wants to get back into the spotlight. So.
Oh, really?
Yeah, he's been going on a talk show. That was like the 2nd episode, and the 3rd episode's coming up. So we'll see where this season takes him.
All right, and in that series, is Danny McBride like an actor or something?
Yeah, he's an actor. He's a former Major League Baseball pitcher, and he just decides to leave the spotlight. He walks right off the field and starts a new life. It's lots of twists and turns. It's really hilarious. Will Ferrell produces it. He's actually in it often. Is also Jody Green, I believe his name is the director. It's very, very funny.
I see.
Another HBO show, it was Boardwalk Empire, starring Steve Buscemi. He plays Nucky Thompson, who's a bootlegging gangster. Takes place in Atlantic City, hence the Boardwalk. And this season's been very violent, lot of the storyline is just going on. Nucky is trying to make money. He's like business ventures in Florida. He's going all over the place, dealing with Arnold Rothstein. The character Al Capone, Yeah, he's in it. So there's a lot of history going on in this story, and we just see many different characters. It's really good, really in depth, and I've just been enjoying watching it, and we'll see where this season takes us.
Yep. Yeah, HBO is always really good about its shows.
Always.
But they're also the ones that break the barriers. They have all sorts of really good shows, like True Blood, Game of Thrones, Treme, all those great shows.
Absolutely.
And a lot of them have like broken barriers.
And actually, there's a brand new show. It's called Hello Ladies. It's a comedy.
Yes, I actually heard.
Looks very good. I recommend checking it out. I've watched a bit of it.
It's with Stephen Merchant, right?
Exactly, and he's hilarious.
He's
a tall,
hilarious.
lanky British guy.
He
very
works
funny.
with, who does he work with a lot? Some
Ricky Gervais, I believe.
Yes,
he's
Ricky
worked with.
Gervais. He works with him a lot.
I believe he was on The Office, but he's a very funny guy.
Yep, he was one of the people who started the British version of The Office before it came here.
Correct. And we have a lot to look forward in the upcoming fall
definitely.
season, and we'll be back next time.
Yep, have a good day.